Hello wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to Phoenix Yorkie. I hope everyone is doing very, very well, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here already. All of you over there in chat and in the VOD squad, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us on our adventures. Papa Dragon, Dungeon, Mike, Mooncloud, high five. And who else we got here? Baron, hey, how you doing? Freya, first time in chat, welcome, welcome. Good luck with the giveaway. And I hope everyone is doing very well, and it's nice to have you here and joining us. Oh, thank you for the follow as well. If you do give us a follow, look up later on as we get finished up and go offline, as I'll send you a followers Discord invitation. You can jump in there and you can share your projects. You can look to be a player in someone's game or look for players in your games, share art, pictures of yummy food, whatever's going on. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we are here to play some Chessenta's Tyranny, the upcoming campaign from CZRPG, which we are lucky enough to be getting sneak peeks at. And speaking of CZRPG, they are wonderfully sponsoring the channel at the moment. Lots and lots of fabulous giveaways for all of our different campaigns. Exclamation mark enter, as some of you have already found, to have your chance. Hey, thank you very much, Llama. Yes, you get your chance to win this fabulous prize. Stick around and we will join the winner at the end. Join the winner? We draw the winner at the end is what I was trying to say. And we can send that in your general direction if you're still with us. Hope to see you there and enjoy. Yes, thank you so much, my friend. Okay, now, saying thank yous, let us continue to say some more thank yous, especially over to those wonderful folks at Sirenscape, sirenscape.com, for a free 30-day trial of music and sound effects for your games. Wonderful, wonderful things there for Pathfinder, D&D, Call of Cthulhu, bunch of board games, science fiction stuff, awesome things that you can do. And if you want to become a Super Siren subscriber after that, you can keep all of that in your games, even if your players are scattered across the world like this lot here. And you can really set the mood and get things going nicely with custom music and sound effects for all the things going on. Now, that said, let us also say a big shout out to the wonderful artist for this campaign. Boop. Two of them, in fact. We have Soletine and Sephiroth, who did these beautiful pieces of artwork here. Soletine did Luce, Arius, and Scuff there, and Sephiroth did the wonderful picture for Reese. And you can check them out over on the links there. And there is one more, as you can see in that link there, one for Mr. Patch of QuestJunkiesUK. It was a pleasure to have him back on the channel on Monday playing a one-shot with us this last week. And you can get to enjoy his lovely work as well, as we jump into tonight's session of Chessenta's Tyranny. That right there was the wonderful work of Patch from QuestJunkiesUK, and you should check them out. And if you want some cool intros for your stuff as well, give them a commission. Now, let us catch up with what has been going on. Last time we were here over on the southern shores of the Sea of Fallen Stars in the land of Chessenta, the lands conquered and have forcibly brought peace to by Shala, the rather tyrannical leader of this area, with her bands of mercenaries hired to keep the peace, and the guards of the various towns scattered throughout the realm here. Our poor adventurers, while languishing in prison for minor offenses that were being overly harshly punished, were mysteriously busted out by a stranger who wanted to use them for a potential uprising, a potential solving of the problem that is Chessenta's tyranny. They accepted that help, thankfully, and were able to escape from the prison camp before making their way south to the lakeside town of Meath, which is what you see on the map here. And this is where they are due to meet with their mysterious benefactor in a couple of days. But until that time, they have the run of the town and all of the festival goings-on that are happening at the moment, as it is the Festival of the Great, a big festival of athletic events and feats of strength and trial by combat and all that kind of stuff, as they revel in this. Although celebrations are a little muted compared to normal, as this is the first year that they are being forced to celebrate without the state-sponsored feasts that are usual to these events, as times are tight and the mismanagement of the country is starting to show a bit in the lack of food and supplies in the realms here. Our adventurers arrived in town and started to look around, whereupon they met with a little young girl called Carlantha, who was happy to show them around and lead them in the direction that they wanted to go, as they were delivering a cursed magical item for the Thieves Guild that had been hidden away beneath the ghost town of Heptios. They had to find something called the Chromatic Colosseum, and in that spot find the Dragonborn that ran it, and give this item to them to deal with. And they did just that, as they met the black-scaled, lustrous-winged Ebenmarsh, a character that has travelled far, originally way over on the Sword Coast. Last we saw them, well, no, even further afield, down in Avernus last time we saw them, as they were an NPC in our Descent into Avernus campaign. But now they are escaped, along with the city of Elturel, and they are back up here, and they have travelled over to this end of the world, where gladiatorial expertise and their particular craft is much more appreciated than over in the west on the Sword Coast. Now, this is where we rejoin our friends, as they are winding down this first day in the town of Meth, and we shall join them as they leave the Chromatic Colosseum and head out into the evening's festivities. Now. Click. Let's find out who these adventurers are as we go top to bottom as we see it here. Luce, who are you in real life? Who are you playing? And where are they at the moment?
Hello, I'm Emma in the real world, and I am playing Lucio Lucent, who is a prey creature. And he is currently having a great time drinking wine and dancing around the festival.
Indeed. And Arias is unfortunately unable to be with us today. They would be usually there on Luce's shoulder, disapproving of all the things going on. But they will be back very, very soon. Do not worry. But someone we are able to welcome back today, thankfully and happily, is Scuff. Who are you in real life? Who are you playing and where are they at?
I am Llama in real life, a llama, as my name entitles. Fit with beautiful hair, and that's about it. I play Scuff, I play Scuff the fighter, a law-abiding citizen now set on a trail of betrayal and revolution. Something wholly unfit for him, but he's making do with what he has.
Indeed, indeed. And last but not least, Reese, who are you in real life? Who are you playing? Where are they at?
I'm Aelin. I play Reese, the criminal. And
The anti-scuff.
the other half. Looks like a tiefling, is a changeling. Currently looks like just a regular, nondescript half elf.
Okay. It's a predominantly human town here, but there are elves and dwarfs and a few gnomes kicking about the place. And you, with not a gnome, but a similarly small person, as our friend Calanther has been leaning up against the wall outside the Chromatic Colosseum, waiting for you. I have art now. Here she is.
Oh God, wait. Where is it?
Hello.
I must see it immediately. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, she looks like a little loose. Well,
Yes, a little, human. If Luce was human and young, a little younger.
yeah.
So I think Reese gave her like 2 silver or something,
Mhm.
and told her to like go
So
back
she
to her
actually
family.
dressed like a fine lady now.
Yeah, got like full on toga and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, there she is. And have you seen that one before, Llama? It's apparently a Pathfinder picture from somewhere. I don't know what adventure path or what
I
it's from.
have not. I think it's from one of the later ones.
Okay. But yes, this is your resourceful and lively guide here with the oversized clothes and boots. A daughter of one of the fisher
Definitely
families.
hand-me-downs.
Yeah? Yes, definitely. Scuff can relate, I think.
Yep.
And yes, the evening is yours, my friends. Do you have a place to stay? Which are you going to the place that's with the famous fish?
I
Which
think
was-
we were going to go and get some fish afterwards, weren't we? That was the plan.
Yeah, we were going to the Ebon March recommended we go to the tavern in 21. They'll tell us it's too full, and so we present the spent soul coin to them,
Yes.
and we should be allowed to stay.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Sorry, Calantha. See you later. Okay, yes, number 21 there on the map was, yes, the ever popular Nerostomo, which means mouthwatering in the local Thurian dialect. This tavern, whose name means mouthwatering, earned its name due to the famous and delicious fish. The location is quite simple, much smaller than its competitors, but still draws many customers, many of whom are port workers. So, Luce, you might meet a few people like your family back home. I think
I feel at peace.
while it's not an ocean, so you don't get that that salt smell and things. But you do get
I
the
feel
other
like
all the other
this is
smells of the
not
docks are
well
definitely
salted.
there. Sorry, say
I
again?
taste the air and think it's bland.
Yeah, it's like could do a little extra.
Needs more salt.
It's not salt enough here.
You're just walking around seasoning the air.
Where are there salt?
Surprise, surprise! Arius isn't here and things aren't salty enough. Okay.
I'm so sad.
And please tell Lily I said that.
I will.
Okay, so you make your way through the streets as Calantha unerringly guides you in the direction that you need to head. You were up at I think where was it? It was number 28. There in the middle there was where the Chromatic Colosseum was, and Calantha skipping ahead of you and ducking and weaving through the huge crowds of people that have gathered here for this festival of the great. And as you're making your way along the top end of the market there, along that main thoroughfare through towards where 21 is on the map there, you do hear a big cheer going up from up above on the bluff with the big temple on top, which is number 2 there. It seems like the last of the day's events are coming to a close up in the plaza of the main temple.
Can I make an investigation check to see what kinds of people are coming out of it? Like, who's been going to see these events? Is there anyone of import that I should know about that I can see exiting or around the premises?
Okay. I think.
Or is nobody there of any consequence?
I mean, you'd have to wait around. You're gonna wait around until because there was cheering and things going on up there, and the main steps down from the Parthenon are on the north side of that rocky bluff there. So you could make your way around there and take a quick detour to see if that's gonna happen. Mm-hmm.
Friends, shall we scope out the perimeter?
Indeed.
Seems a good idea.
Can.
And we should. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the front entrance.
That sounds good.
I'm not very good at hiding and that stuff. You guys know this.
Am I good at hiding? Yes, I am. I can do this too.
Okay, I need to see where was the. Trying to find out where the different competitions are fighting here. Okay, yeah, you do see a large group of people gathered around an elf, a tall, thin elf, clearly an archer that seems to have won some great accolade in the first in the events of the day, as they are nose to the sky, just serenely moving through the adoring crowds as they're all trying to win favor with this hero of the day. And Calantha comes over and kind of kicks loose in the shin. Hey! How's that you, Luce?
I approach.
Mm-hmm.
I approach. I pass the goat or the sheep or whatever it is.
That's Delexios.
What's his name?
Delexios.
Delexios.
Delexios the Precise.
Who is this speaking to me?
It's
I look around.
Calantha.
Okay. Right. I pretend she doesn't exist for a moment. No. Okay. I will look for an entrance, like a grand entrance, where perhaps the most well-to-do might enter.
Okay. So yeah,
Do I find one if I roll a...
You're looking for an entrance to where, sorry?
To the Colosseum, the Pantheon place, where
Okay.
the cheers are coming from.
Okay, these are people descending from the end of the events for the day, so they've come down the steps to the north side of the mountainside there. And
Yes,
Delexios, so you're going to go up behind them? Mm-hmm.
If I'm around, I want to go assess the perimeter of this place.
Okay.
Considering we might be fighting here, if there's anyone who we might be able to get to sponsor us to get nice weapons or better armor, that might be helpful.
Okay.
It's what I'm really thinking.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you clamber up the steps after this famous archer and his entourage have swept through, and you climb up to the top of the hill there, and you see the large temple, reaching up to the sky as it goes a dusky kind of peach as the sun sets down over the Meth Lake, and the colours that come off the Meth Lake are beautiful.
Wow, I can imagine.
And the beautiful Chessentan style temple has a large courtyard at the front, which is called the Megalathrio. Megalathrio? Sorry, get the pronunciation. Megaloathrio, I think. Yes. The temple is dedicated, if you look at the statuary and stuff out front, it seems to be dedicated to Geb, Anur, Nephthys, and Horus Re, which was, the new pantheon, which Shala is a follower of the various Egyptian gods, which we would recognize them as. By the way, anyone that's seen episode 4 of Moon Knight, wow, wow, just wow. Okay,
I
that's all
want to
I'll
watch
say.
it.
I don't want to spoil, but yes. Speaking of Egyptian gods, and yeah, they're clearly new, fairly recent additions to the temple, as they were replacing the original Anthuric pantheon gods that were worshipped here. Let's have a look here. You do see, Luce, as you're looking for like important people and things to kind of keep your eyes open for. You do see a very like self-important looking priest who's clearly in charge of things, and he's directing various acolytes and things around him as they're cleaning up and tidying up after the events of the day. And you can see various altars and statues throughout the plaza with offerings being laid at them as people leave and go off on their way to continue celebrations or head home for the evening.
Found the mark.
Yeah.
I point to him.
Okay. Let's see. Therius. Again, Calantha is tagging along with you, and she kind of pulls on your sleeve. She's like, "That's Therius Royce, not Reese.
Reese Royce?
Basically it's Reese, but with an O in the middle.
Oh.
Literally.
Also,
Oh,
just to
okay.
put out there, Reese has not and would not have given his name.
Okay. This Calantha's very insightful, apparently. No. I just... Okay.
I'll say, oh, it's like Reese, but with an O in the middle.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but I'll take your word for
Aelin,
it.
you expected this. Don't lie to me.
I expected this, but that reaction was in character.
I love you.
Okay.
Okay. I will look over at the group, and then I'll be like, yes, good, very good, assessing kind of all of our skill sets, knowing that Scuff's got, like, the strong, Reese has got, like, the sneak and the disguise and the getaway skills and everything. And I look at Calantha and I just say, if you mess this up for us, I'm going to steal back your silver and turn it into chocolate wings.
Scott's
And then
gonna
I
frown
start
at this.
walking.
Yeah.
Not quite Rubblejacks. We're missing Arias today, unfortunately.
I am so sad.
We all are. Yes, so close. Okay, now, you see a couple of official-looking people taking the names of would-be contestants, as you have to sign up for all these various things the day before. So one of them was like crying out. She's like, who will try their arm against the Frebius Lexios? And there's someone standing next to the archery, and you can see the archery event here. There is a long archery range, and there are a series of axes, like with their big hooked blades, hanging down the line of this range with a target down the far end. And it seems pretty clear that you have to shoot through the curve of the blades and hit the target on the far side. That is the
That
Lucia.
looks fun. Reese will raise his hand, and not Reese. I'm not Reese. I'm Reese. Reese, I'm volunteering for you.
Reese with an O. Okay.
Reese will raise his hand
Yep. Okay, you're gonna
and volunteer the entire group. Each and every single one of us would like to have a go.
Huh? What? I mean, I guess.
That actually does kind of look fun.
I knew it. See, I'm a spy. A spy for fun.
Yeah, archery was never my strong suit, but we can try.
Luce, roll me a
And you
d10,
can succeed. A D10?
please.
A D10, I mean. 4.
Okay. So that means 4 people have signed up, and there is a maximum of 10 per day. So they have 6 positions still available. And
Okay.
this person is like, this person's like, oh, come on, oh, visitors, oh, welcome. You wish to take part in the archery tomorrow?
Yes. Let me consult with my teammates 1 second. I would like to turn to the rest of the team, and I'll just say, guys, what we want to a benefactor to potentially help us out and give us a lot of stuff. And this priest seems to be one of those kinds of people, right? So what if we pretended to be holy people and signed up in the name of whoever he serves as God or something?
The guys.
It's a secret, by the way. Shh. Inside voices. We've all got to be really quiet and secretive about this.
I don't really feel like lying to him about religion and stuff. I feel like he'd see through it.
Well, does the competition provide equipment, or is there like a?
Well, you will have your athlete's licenses, of course. Yes.
That's.
If we
Then
had athletes' licenses,
I'm
what
sorry.
would that get us?
I cannot sign you up without your license.
How do we get a license?
If you find a patron, one of the clergy, as you mentioned, perhaps in your not very subtle conversation just now, but yes, you need licenses. Otherwise, you cannot collect your bow and bring it to the ground here.
Okay. Right. So how about we schmooze that priest and see if we can get anything out of it?
So yeah, he describes to you how you need to present your athlete's license at the where is it? At the main keep, the big number one there, the main fortress, and you have to present the license, get your bow from them, sign the documents for it and stuff, walk directly to the event space with it, take part in the competition, and then take it back, and you did see that the winner, the elf archer you saw coming down, was headed in the direction of the keep as you passed by them. So they were clearly going to return their bow.
Okay. So, Scuff, you don't have to lie. I can do that, along with Reese. You can be your whole, true, unabashed self. And you're just tagging along with a couple of clerics.
I'll just say it as it is. I used to be part of the guards, and these people probably don't know what happened, and I'll, just tell them I'm participating.
Sounds great. Okay. So you're a guard. That's a good cover story. And then, well, that's actually also true.
It's the truth.
It is the truth. Reese, what are you doing?
Force of habit.
I mean, it's actually like Reese pulls out like his like amulet of
Loose
like,
winks
the
conspiratorially.
But it's true.
It's like I'm not exactly not a holy person.
Okay. I look.
Don't know if they.
What god? What god do you?
Was it Bastet, or which one are we going? Variation of it are we going with?
Bastet,
Okay. Yeah.
Does that align with their gods? Is that the same one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm also one of those.
You did save one of her windows from being shattered, so
It was an act of grace.
And
Also, you can do the talking, and I can hype you up, and then Scuff can stick.
I don't know. I think
Look good. That's it.
Luce, I think you're doing a great job at talking to people.
all right.
I don't know about that.
Hey, Bredeman, welcome in. You okay, so yeah, who are you attempting to woo into licensing you?
I mean, we only have voice, right?
What's that, Reese with that?
We could ask Calantha if there are any others who might be helpful sponsors.
Okay. Calantha.
She's like sat over on the edge of the. There's like a dais with this archery range on it, and she's like sat on it with like kicking her legs back and forth with those oversized boots clunking against the stonework. Yeah, what?
Do you know of any other friends we might make here?
I don't know. My friends don't hang out around up here. There's the gods are watching, they say.
Oh, they are.
That's why we go and where we can hide and sneak about. Why? What do you want to do?
Well, we found out that we need a special license to compete, and any other people like that one, pointing over at like Roos, like, who might.
Well, she leans in and does a pretty good approximation of Lucy's wink, and she's like, "Well, it depends if you want your names on the books or not."
Oh.
And like in the storybooks?
No.
No, logbooks. Worse, much worse. Really boring.
Much worse. Ugh, that sounds gross. I can hide
So
them.
if-
I could...
I actually like logbooks. You know, they're good for keeping track of things. You know where equipment's going. It's very useful.
It's just
We seem like the
Kiss it.
academic type stuff.
hey, buddy.
Reese kind of starts flicking a copper along his fingers. Any chance you might be interested in telling us about a friend who would keep our names out of the books?
Well, it is evening. Various dinner parties and drinking events are happening, which means all of the athletes will not be in their quarters, where if this year is to be, similar to others, they'll have all of their licenses tucked under their pillows.
Sick! That sounds great! Let's go and let's swap them all so everyone gets confused as to who's Bunkapoos and then steal one of their spots.
Sounds like fun.
Are there any athletes in particular that your family has money on?
Oh, we can't afford to bet.
I was going to say, so we should definitely not take those because we're probably not going to win.
So, Kalanta,
But we
if
could-
were to have this, if this was to be like on the books, where would I go then?
Oh, you just have to find a decent sponsor. I mean, a priest or the guard captain or someone.
The guard captain could work. I could do it.
But wait, hang on, the guard captain. Hang on, didn't I insult him this morning?
No, just a guard at the door.
A guard. Okay, cool, sweet. That wasn't them.
Absurdus.
Absurd.
Absurdus.
I did write that down.
More like
Bit absurd. Okay. Absurdus thinks Luce is an absurd bard, and we have beef, apparently.
Yes, be careful. Reese, don't flash around any of that bardic magic around here, you get yourself in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So while you guys go and
I haven't done anything!
I'm just saying, as
Skip's
the
just
only,
gotta go
as the
file
only
paperwork,
non-divine caster, you need to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick
Sorry, Steph.
internship overnight to get sponsorship. Guys. Smash cut to our stealth mission going disastrously wrong to Scuff just do 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 do.
Just
Who knows?
filing paperwork. Don't worry about it.
If the Chromatic Colosseum has people in the game, then perhaps Ebonmarsh can sponsor a license or two.
Pretty cool. Right, so Scuff, you pursue the more above the board routes for us. Maybe take Arius with you. Or, Arius, where are you? Does he need to be anywhere?
I'm right here. What?
Why don't you also help Scuff by pursuing one of the clerics or something? You're a cleric,
Yes. But
so
different religion?
maybe you could say you're a convert.
I'll just abandon my god.
Eh?
It's not so simple.
You could just have fun with it. Anyway, Reese and I are gonna go and do this other one. We're gonna steal. And thus Arius disappeared for the rest of the game.
Okay. Right, so you make your way down the steps and Luce and Reese, are you looking for a guest house?
Sneakily, yes.
Okay, as you do best. Well, as you make your way down, the orange glowing lanterns are all lit throughout and just like bobbing up and down as people kind of jostle past the stands and things that hold up the long strings of lights through the roadways here, and the orange light is reflected off the white plastered walls of Meth here, with all of the kind of square and triangular designs in the blues and greens across the sides of the walls, and the awnings over the doorways and the makeshift stalls of goods and things thrown out in front of the various houses along the thoroughfare here flap and shift in the evening breeze that's coming off the lake, and making things much more pleasant. And you are able to make your way, just a couple of drops of water in the river of people here, so pretty much ignored and as you wish. Which area of the town are you heading to? Just like a quiet, trying to find a quieter spot?
And then you just...
I want to go wherever this guy shouting isn't.
Yeah. So just to clarify, are we going to try and heist these now, seeing as the athletes are at dinner and at parties?
If possible, yes. That's...
Okay.
We just
So
need to
then I
know
think
where
we-
they're...
No heists.
It's okay, Scuff. You can go do your logbooking. Maybe
Yeah.
Eben Marsh needs his accounts checked. Or you can come with us and have more fun.
I mean, we could theoretically all go to Evan Marsh and just
Well,
do
filing papers can be
names.
fun.
That sounds boring. This sounds more fun.
We'll also see if we steal some of their athlete cards, then it means they can't actually compete, which means that we could place bets against them.
Exactly. We can make more money, we can rig the competition. Also, we should take one of each of their socks, so that they never find the other, and it's super infuriating.
Can I say, what is this sock obsession that you have?
I just
don't
think
know.
mild disruption is really fun.
I'm terribly sorry, and she just gestures in a sweeping gesture around, like lower down, as you see all of the people in their bare feet and sandals.
We'll take one of their sandals then, easy.
Or
is it you
could
that always
just
like
put-
throws them off of the wires hanging across the roadways? There's always like one just like
Yes,
hanging.
me.
Is that? I
Look,
always
if you
wondered who
really
that
want to cause a minor disturbance, what you do is you snip one string of the sandals so it's lopsided.
Oh my god. Are you sure you don't want to come to the barrack?
I'm good.
Scuff, are you going to Eben Marsh or the City Watch?
Let's go with City Watch first.
Okay.
I think that would have the better chance of succeeding.
Okay. So, let's follow Scuff for a moment first. You make your way. Let's see here. Yes, you make your way down the steps and across the courtyard there. To your left and right, you see 17 and 18 there. On one side, there's a huge masonry shop called Fundamental Stone. And has all kinds of products arrayed out the front there, and various blocks being prepared for sculptors to start work on. And on the other side is Dress Well, Nisu Kalar, which is the largest clothing supplier here in the town. And they're still open even at this fairly late hour, as people, all the festival goers are bustling here and there, and some people are getting some new togs before they go off to some parties or things for the evening, and picking up things that they had requested.
Skeff admires this as he walks by. He likes people who craft stuff.
This seems like a very practical and that way-minded place. And
never a good crafter himself, but other people will make good stuff.
And you make your way over towards Defender, which was the main fortress there, number 1. And you can see Gendrix patrolling the walls and placed in all the towers and on the front gate. And you make your way up to the front gates there?
Yeah.
Okay. And they kind of look down at you. What do you want?
Oh, hi. Yes, I'm new in town, and I've heard there's these competitions. I want to participate in one, but to do so, I need an athlete's license. And to get one, I need a patronage, supposedly. So I was sent this way.
What are we supposed to do for you? I ain't patronizing anybody.
I mean, I assume you're not, but I'm sure you have a guards captain or something that I can talk to.
They're very busy.
Yes, but this won't take long. I'm sure I can help alleviate whatever business they got to, so.
Hang on. Oh. Stand back. Stand back. This can wait.
Yep.
And you see the gates of the fortress swing open, and a large, imposing man with a very clean-lined beard, long braided hair down the back over his cloak, comes striding forward and barks back over his shoulder. Bring the prisoner. A nice bonfire will warm us up for the evening. And you see several Gendrix parading behind him, and slung between them is a badly beaten, unconscious prisoner hanging from the arms of the Gendrix, their feet dragging along the ground as they make their way over towards a clearing on the edge of the Dassos there, the forest of those pink trees that you can see there. And just a moment here.
I was so shocked by that music change that I left my tea downstairs. I need to go get it, but I'm listening this whole...
Okay. And you can see that a small crowd is gathering fairly quickly as people are talking and muttering amongst themselves and heading in small groups around to this area of the square, and you can see that they've stopped around this open spot where this large commander and the Gendrix have marched forward with their prisoner. And as you make your way and kind of peer over the crowd, you can see that the man has been tied to one of the trees on the edge of the Dassos there. He's, as I said, chained and beaten, almost, face almost unrecognizable. And there is a wooden support being set up by some of the Gendrix there in the shape of an X, and a large amount of firewood is being built up around the bottom of it. And Scuff, you recognize this all too well as something that you always regarded with, horrible distaste.
Yeah.
This prisoner is to be executed, burned alive, and you, with your connections to the Watch, and memories and experiences know all too well that that kind of punishment is reserved for one particular prisoner type, and that this prisoner must have been an arcane magic user.
A spellcaster.
Indeed.
Scuff's gonna take a deep breath. He does not like seeing this, but at the moment, there's not much he can do to help this person in particular. He will ask around to figure out what the man did, even though he knows generally that it's spellcaster of sorts. He will ask to see what specifically happened.
You make an investigation check.
Will do.
And yeah.
I've been 8.
An 8. Okay. You don't learn much, unfortunately, but they were discovered using arcane magic to try and influence the games somewhat.
See.
Sorry, we're getting a bit of like bleed through from sound from someone. Has someone got like speakers? Using speakers? I can hear myself. And I don't wanna.
It must be from my side, but it shouldn't be. I'm gonna check if I can turn that down.
If you're using headphones,
Still
it should
there?
be fine. It shouldn't come through from that. I think that's gone. I can't hear it now. Yeah.
I don't know. I changed one thing, but it shouldn't have changed anything. But I guess it changed something. So I guess we're done. Huzzah!
Famio, I know this is an arcane magic user unfriendly setting, but even so, yeah, exactly.
Scuff's gonna look at the people, not the guards, but the people around to see what the consensus of most people are. Because I assume most of them are gonna, be cheering this on, but there might be people there who don't. He wants to make note of those.
The general consensus here is distaste. It seems they seem very very angry that this is happening, but not to the extent of rising up and attacking the guards, the Gendrix in front of the castle, the fort here. Looking at the scene here, you can see that the prisoners chained up on the edge of the forest there, whilst the guards are busy preparing for everything. There is one guard watching him, but they're also looking out at the crowd, and they are preparing the apparatus and the gantry and things for the execution, and let's see. I think talking to the folks and looking at the various different people, there's a mix. There are some that definitely they seem to be drinking the Kool-Aid. There are some of them that are like they almost spit as like sorcerer, getting his just desserts. But
the guards here, do they look like mercenary guards or like local?
No, they're Gendrix. Yeah, so they'll be local watchmen.
And they seem to be all being on this and be fine with it.
They're following orders. And you remember from your time in the Watch that there were always those that didn't like what was happening, but it was what it was.
Yeah, you had to follow orders regardless. It didn't have an option on it.
Yep. Those that didn't follow orders ended up in camps like you did.
Yeah,
but for different reasons.
that's how it works. Scott's gonna make note of the ones who agree with this, since those will be in the minority. And he wants to study the guards a little bit more carefully, just to see if there's any sign of discontent amongst them.
The
what?
give me an insight check.
An insight.
Yeah.
It's a 17.
The guard that is next to the prisoner by the trees is nervously picking at their fingernails as they clasp onto their spear, and not meeting the eyes of any of the locals around the circle of people here.
How many guards are there?
There are. Let's see here. There are four guards, and then that commander that was there, and he's like shouting at them, and trying to make them hurry up and stuff. 3 of them are setting up the apparatus, and the one's guarding the guy.
Yeah, she's gonna. Scuff's gonna make a definite note of that one guard then. But he also knows that this is lawful. This is lawful according to this is what the law dictates. And also he doesn't know what he could do to help here in any way.
And you can see the sergeant that was in charge of this thing, this large imposing man that led them out. He's reveling in shouting at onlookers and telling them to get back, and some of them just move a bit too slowly just because there's more people behind them, and he just physically body checks them back. He slams into them and knocks people. Actually knocks
That's the imposing man, right?
Yeah, the ranking officer. And you hear the local people sorry, Sergeant, sorry, and it's clearly a very a bully of an officer. Luce?
What number roughly on the map are we at?
Outside the gates,
just
to the north of 18 there, on the edge of the forest.
Okay, thank you.
Prisoner...
And we are where in comparison to this?
You and Reese are elsewhere, I'm afraid. Scuff is over by the gates of the main.
Just so that I know for later context.
The prisoner is chained at the edge of the trees.
Quick question.
Yep.
From where we were, is there any chance we could have overheard this commotion before we had left for heist?
Give me a perception check, both of you. Birdman, if you have enough dream pies, that's what the channel points are for. Yeah, you can give the little diamond crystals are inspiration rerolls, and the red rubies
11.
are disadvantage. An 11, okay, Reese.
23.
Oh, okay.
Woohoo.
So yeah, Luce is too excited about the pranks that are incoming, but Reese, you overhear several groups of people who are rushing to the north. It's yes, a poor spellcaster. They're gonna burn them alive. The morbid curiosity seems to be drawing them north.
And we know that that's the direction that Scuff went as well.
You do.
I think pranks might have to wait loose.
Why?
something's happening, and just don't want to risk. It's in the same direction Scuff went.
Okay, let's go and have a look.
So yeah, you turn and follow the few groups of people heading that direction. You have to work a bit to actually see what's going on as you arrive, and there's a bigger crowd drawn out of concern, morbid curiosity, drunken confusion. It's like everyone else was going this way, and you also see number 18. There is this clothier's, this clothes merchant's, and the prisoner is chained to one of the trees that's between the clothes shop and the castle. You see there are trees on the south side as well there. And then the apparatus is being set up basically on the corner, the top right corner of the 18 there. In the middle of the lead up to the main gates. And the group of people, the main crowd of people is gathered at the junction here. And on the edge of the forest, the Dassos over there, and they are concernedly looking around, and the two of you see Scuff also up by those trees to the south of the entrance to the castle, the fort, and he was clearly up near the gates when this all started off, because he's kind of trapped up there almost as everything is happening in front of him. And you also see this large, imposing sergeant just abusing the opportunity to be an asshole. What would you
Sorry,
say?
say again. I didn't pick up.
Should we help him?
I don't know.
We
Now-
can help them. We should help them, right?
Probably.
Can I just quickly say, there is a fairly detailed description of the incoming events, and if any of the three of you do not want to hear that, they can be glossed over in a very generalized way. So if you just send a thing on Messenger, you don't have to say anything. If you just say it.
Sure.
Baz disapproves. So no,
Baz does
censor it with the floof.
How close to the forest is this guy? Like, are they going to be setting a fire?
The apparatus
in
where they're
relation to that?
they're putting the firewood and this cross-shaped apparatus like in the middle of the road leading up to the main gates of the fort. But he, at the moment, is chained to one of the trees at the edge of the road, where the 18 is there.
How well secured is he?
There is one guard watching him and 3 preparing the execution site.
Can we get kind of like navigate the crowd to get up next to Scuff?
You think if you make your way around the west side of the clothes merchants, you
Okay.
could get through the trees to nearby him? Yeah. There are a couple of other people hanging like from those trees, like clambered up into the lower branches of some of those trees and peering through as well. But it's not as busy as the main square out front, where everything's facing that way.
Okay.
So yeah, you two are like a meter or so, a couple of meters behind Scuff.
Reese just whistles to like catch his attention.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, Scuff, you kind of drop back
Let's
through
just
the
go
first.
scoot
people.
over. Just,
Oh, you're not going to watch? Oh, you're going to give it? Oh, can I take your spot? Oh, yeah. Oh, cheers.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who says I want to do something?
I agree.
Wait,
This is gonna be horrible.
Didn't people say that this place was already kind of not on their side? Like, I mean, if we do something, maybe people will stand up and fight. Or try to. Or not
A lot
stop
of people
us.
here seem to be against this, but I'm afraid of what it could do with the civilians here. These are not fighters. These are not, these are just regular people. However, I'm sure you two, with your sneakiness, he's by the woods. I'm sure you guys can blend in. You can cause a distraction. Grab their attention for a little bit. It'll destroy the patronage possibility, but cause a little bit of distraction at least.
I could do something. I could try something.
You ready to make some chaos?
Rings, if you try and unshackle him, I can make a distraction.
I'll handle the distraction.
Jesus. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'll see. You'll notice. I'll get out their captain. Just take the cue once it happens. Do your best.
No. Scuff, are you about to
Oh, he's not gonna attack it.
stop
He's
limiting that wilder side of yourself?
Kinda. At least a little bit.
Okay, so then if I see Scuff is about to do something, I'll pull on Reese's arm and just point to the forest, and I'm going to go into the woods.
Reese is gonna get a position, like, behind one of the trees to move in for lockpicking or however to get this guy free.
Okay.
Okay.
There is a
And Reese,
padlock
if
on
worse
the
comes
chain
to
that's
worse,
holding him to the tree.
chop off his hands. Okay, bye.
Reese is
That's
like
better than being dead.
looks at the padlock and just starts going through like all of his like lucky picks.
Shall I roll stealth? Or do we not need to in a crowd this size?
It always helps.
Stealth as well.
Okay.
Okay, 15.
Good.
21.
Okay. So, as Luce and Reese position themselves, Scuff, what do you do?
So Scuff's gonna kind of like almost circle around, so he's got the least amount of space between him and the captain man.
Yep.
And he's gonna barge through to the best of his ability straight at the captain. As he says, "You! I know you! I've seen you before! We met before!
You
get
get
back!
back! Get back!
No,
There's no
no,
place
you,
for
I remember.
civilians!
You! We had a bet! You owe me! I won that bet!"
Give me a performance check.
Can we assist in any way at all?
If you can think of somehow to.
I shout from the woods, "Yeah, I saw it! He took it gold!"
Make a persuasion check, please.
11 plus. Persuasion, did you say?
Yep.
1, 12.
12. Okay. I'll say that's enough. Like a few different people are like, he did what? Oh, I can't believe the sergeant? No. And that's enough to give you advantage, Scuff.
That's check. So that would be a 13 in total.
13.
Okay.
And are you letting certain forces flow, or not?
I
As
assume
the-
in this
the stress-
scenario, he
The stress of the
wouldn't-
situation, you can feel it
wouldn't
rising, you can
necessarily
feel the hairs on your
control
neck
this.
standing.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, roll me a d100.
Okay, 27.
27. Okay. As
I'm
you
so freaking
lunge
out.
forward saying, "You owe me money," and yeah, it's like, "Yeah, you lost the bet," and and you seem to convince him. You look pained. You look distraught. You look anguished by the loss of this money. As for the next minute, your armor shrinks far too tight in all the wrong places, granting you.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh
And, like,
no!
someone next to him is like, "Oh, this poor fella, he can't even afford proper armor. Look at him." And so the people next to him, and the sergeant turns around. He's like, "I do not owe you any fucking money.
Yes, you
Who
do.
the hell's do you
Remember?
think you are?" And-
I'm the guy. I won. This would be the cue for the others.
He's like, "I told you
Okay.
to get back," and he lunges
it.
forward and uses the ability shield check, and does an 18 hit? You with your tight armor.
With my tight armor, it does hit this.
Okay.
Tight
Can you make
leather armor.
you take 4 bludgeoning damage, and can you make me a strength saving throw, please?
I can do. That'll be a 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, so yes, you stand your ground as he just like lunges forward and he's like slams into you with his gauntleted, like with his greaves on his arms there, and tries to knock you down. And his eyes narrow as you stand up against the concussive hit of this very large sergeant, and he's like, "I don't know what your game is, but this is not the time. See me tomorrow or something. Fuck off." And whilst this is happening, Reese, what do you do?
Did Luce want to do something first?
I want to see. I have something I'm going to do, but I just want to shout, "The sergeant's a cheat, penny scraper!" And I'm preparing a spell, and Reese will be able to see that, but I'm not going to go until you've been able to. The trigger is going to be either Scuff getting hurt or the guy getting free.
Okay.
I'm only going to cast it. One of those 2 triggers,
Okay.
whichever comes first,
He did just get hurt.
if possible.
That's fine.
It's okay.
Well,
Hurt him.
he's still standing. I mean,
Yes.
he's
yes.
still standing. Yeah.
Okay. So Reese, go for it.
Lockpicking.
Yep. Sleight of hand +6.
That is a dirty 20.
Nice. Okay. You nonchalantly kind of lean against the tree and like, as if you're stretching, and just like, just like reach over to the where the padlock is there. And there is a almost inaudible click above this scuffle that's heading out in the square there. The guards that were piling up all the kindling and the firewood are like standing up and like questioningly holding their weapons, like looking at each other. It's like, do we support the sergeant? Do we help him out? I mean, he gets pissed off if they like make him look weak, so they're not sure what to do. The guard that was on the prisoner is kind of also like hesitantly stepped forward, looking worriedly towards it, and the figure, this sorcerer with their bloodied and bashed up face, kind of like turns at the noise like, "No, what's going on?"
Reese is going to fasten the lock on, like, basically on the like belt of one of the nearby guards.
Oh,
Very
the
good.
poor guard who doesn't like this. Oh, poor guy.
Okay.
He'll get burnt alive now.
If possible, not the
Give
one
Reese
who
a
looked
good-
like hesitant, but
there's only the one. That's only that one guy next to this
Alas,
side of
he'll be
things, yeah.
fine.
And
To give
you
Reese a good getaway, to make
Okay, so
sure that
yeah,
no one sees them.
you click onto
If the
onto
guy
his
is-
belt there, and loose, yeah.
If the guy is now free, I'm going to try and cast a spell, but it flips back almost, and Reese, with a burst of fauna and foliage that looks like a scattering of cherry blossom, you see Luce turn into a giant wolf spider with a speed of 40 feet and a climb speed of 40 feet and spider climb. So this is my game plan. I'm going to create a distraction for everyone to get away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to burst forth from the forest, and I'm going to run up the wall, and then I'm going to turn back to myself and in a hidden position. That is all my idea.
Okay.
That's all that I want to do. So that everybody can get away. Yay!
Noted.
we did not plan where to meet up afterwards.
That's fine.
Now-
We'll find each other.
Okay, so as you do this, there are screams and shouts of alarm as this gigantic spider erupts from the Dassos on the other side and scuttles across, and everyone starts like clawing and getting out of the way. The sergeant's like, "What the bloody hell's going on?" And the other guards like level their crossbows and all fire at you, Luce. That is going to be only one hit. You take 4 piercing.
My armor class is 13 as a wolf spider.
So one hit,
Okay.
and that's 4 piercing.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, and you go
And I'm
scuttling
just
away
gonna run
towards...
until I find some cover.
Okay, the guard in front of you, Reese, goes to move forward and finds himself like caught on this thing, and he turns around, and
Oh no! Reese didn't like lock him to the thing. He just took the padlock off of the prisoner and put it on them to make it look like he had let him go.
oh, I see. It wasn't the chain.
Ah,
Wasn't still
I see,
attached to
I
the
see, I
chain to the tree.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't.
he
It wasn't
killed.
trying to lock him in.
Okay.
Alas,
So yeah, so he
is
also
brave.
he also takes a shot then, misses, and Reese, you feel a pull on your sleeve, and you turn round, and Calantha's there, and she has clearly been in that clothing shop just to the east there, and she lifts up a bundle, and there's a hooded cloak that she's stolen
My
from the
God.
clothing shop, and she's like, he needs to hide.
Yeah, Reese is gonna like, shoulder him down and help get him all cloaked
Yeah,
up.
you swing that cloak over his shoulders and pull up the hood on it, and then start disappearing beneath the trees there to the south and through the buildings along perpendicular to the wall of the fortress there, and disappear. Luce, where are you headed?
Okay, so now earlier we discussed the location of all these things. If we were around 18, I think I would have dashed around and tried to double back into the forest. So back towards the forest if possible to find some cover, or by the foot of the wall so that I can just transform back when nobody can see me.
in the Dassos,
What is that? The
the
wall?
forest,
Is it?
the umbrella forest.
The forest? Yeah, I'll do that if it's the best cover. I just want to I've got to make sure it's in a place where I am. Maybe I run behind a tree and walk out as a human, and I'm like, ah, the big spider! It went that way.
Okay, so you go disappearing into the forest there. Nobody's following you. They just let it go, and you get far enough into the trees and manage to disappear out of sight there. Let's see here.
We really didn't plan a meetup spot, did we?
No.
Wait, we do know the name of that tavern.
As you make your way into the whole thing there, you find at the center of the Dassos there a small grove of the trees, of where the opening is in the trees there. And you see an altar to Isis there in the center of the trees. And there is an elf praying there. And you just come bursting from the trees, and he turns. My prayers have been answered.
What?
He's just like stumbling towards you in devotional reverie.
Oh, I speak for the trees, and you have to tell everyone, spread the word, the spider. It went that way, towards number 20. Whatever that is, I don't know.
He's like, where?
Downwards?
Spread the word to all of the beloved followers. Goodbye.
And he just
I'll
falls to
try
his
this one way.
knees, weeping with his
Oh,
spiritual experience he just had in the forest, and just disappears. And Reese, you, the prisoner, and Calanther go heading south, off through the buildings there, and moving away towards let's see here. Yes, you make your way towards number 19 there, and it's easy to lose people in the streets here because there are throngs of people here and partygoers and revelers here, as that is the Cafe Mera, which is the most populated tavern here, the most popular place where everyone's drinking, and there's lots of folks spilling out into the streets as it starts to get into evening here. And you managed to move through the crowds there. It doesn't seem like any Gendrix are chasing after you. Scuff, are you going to try and slip away into the crowd?
Oh yeah.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
Will do. With disadvantage because armor. That's a 16.
16? Okay.
Yep.
Let's see here. Our sergeant only gets an 8 on his perception. He's like casting about, he's looking, he's like, I knew it. I knew the arcane force would come and try and save this one. And he's like just like scanning across the crowd, trying to see this is these people scattering and running every which way. He's like, it'll take more than your 8-legged parlor tricks to stop us rooting you out and burning every last one of you. We'll find you and we'll get you. And as you scatter through the streets in your various directions, Jedricks are spilling from the fort and forcing people to disperse and go back to wherever they're going, and they're quickly, embarrassingly putting away the apparatus for this execution as the prisoner has escaped. And the Gendricks are pissed off.
And rightfully so.
guys, we did it! I'm so proud.
And so Adventures Initiative. Sorry, I was in the moment there. Yeah, this is not Theros. This is over in Chessenta, which is on the Sea of Fallen Stars, over in the to the east of the Forgotten Realms, and the whole area is very much based on Greek and Egyptian themes. So I can see, yeah. and the art in the background is from the Theros book, so that was a fair assumption to make. And thank you very much. Welcome in. It's good to have you. Give us a follow and then you can get into a. Oh yeah, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I was ready in the moment. I will give you a followers Discord invite later on. Please share anything that you've got going on as well. All right, and good luck with the giveaway. Now, as and Thamio, yes, thank you for doing that. That was well remembered. Okay, Reese, you and this fella are making your way through the town, and Calanther is leading the way to... let's see. Sorry, I do not have all of these. Ah, okay, yes. You follow Calanther through the various back alleys and off the main streets. A couple of alarmed puppers bark annoyedly at you as you make your way through these residences and areas here, and you find yourself making your way down towards the mouth of the winding river where it spills into the lake, and you end up down here at 22, which, as you can see on the map, is a adorable little dockyard. I love that asset. That's such a cute asset. Look at it. Little boatyard, little crane, little slip ramp for boats to go into the water.
Cute. It's so cute,
isn't it?
I like it.
And you are led there, and she's like, This shipyard belongs to friends of my parents. Hector. There won't be anybody here until morning. Wait here, I'll find the others.
Thank you. And Reese is gonna give her a whole gold.
She bites it. You did a good thing.
So did you. Thank you.
All in a day's work. A paid day's work. She disappears off. And disappears off out the door. And you are left with this exhausted, bloodied individual. He's just like, thank you. Thank you.
Don't panic. And then Reese casts Cure Wounds. Hey, I know you're a magic user, but also, like, I'm a stranger who's casting magic on you kind of vibes.
And his eyes go wide. He's like, what are you doing? Don't do... You could end up on that scaffold.
Hopefully somebody else will come by and pick the lock. And that is 9 HP back.
He looks visibly more comfortable. Oh, thank you. Famio with that ominous goodbye there. Oh no, sorry, you need to leave now. I thought they were saying, I need to leave now. You have been marked. No, yes, they could be in a spot above there.
Yeah, we have been. Guys,
Although,
we're about to get out of here.
It wasn't this large crowd of people, which is good. They're looking for a Gendrick with very tight armor. It's okay. Scuff as your armor goes back to normal. It's like, it's not me.
It's not me. Not me. No,
fitting very nicely over here. Thank you. Yeah, because it was only a minute, so that you're kind of like awkwardly like trying to escape from the scene of this crime. She's like,
why is it so tight around there? No.
I didn't even know there was a hammer down there. I forgot. And you
I can feel every bolt.
But then a mere 50 seconds later, probably by that point, you feel it blessedly return to its regular size.
Oh.
It's like, why couldn't that happen instead of sinking those boats and sending those Gendrips to their death?
Yeah.
God damn it. And you start to look around. Say the John Travolta meme.
Okay. Where did everyone... We really didn't plan this out, did we?
And...
Everyone having the same thoughts.
Yeah. Luce, roll me a D100.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's alright,
Bad
new
time.
fashion. 63.
63. Okay. You see the mop of brown hair and red cloak of Scuff looking around confusedly.
I like how you explain his hair as a mop.
Right? Unfair?
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, Scuff's hair is a mop. Llama's hair is a glorious mane. It's just that's how we describe it.
Seems fair to me.
Lucy, you do see Scuff in the crowd ahead of you as you've looped around the edge of the forest and back into the main streets, and back into loose form. Muted.
No, muted. Visible confusion.
Was the mic attached? Did you have like a TV mic on your jumper? Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes, there you go.
Okay, right. Sorry about that. That was weird. One of my headphones has gone missing.
No worries.
Okay. Sorry for that. What's going on?
You have found Scuff ahead of you as you went into your normal form again and jumped out onto the streets once more.
Anything else? That was weird.
Yeah. That was kind of exciting, though. I haven't done something like that before, ever.
I've never actually done that either with the whole pincers.
Yes, this is how you feel when you fool people, you prank them.
Yeah, it is. Felt like better. Well,
So, that spider thing, is that something you can do always?
no, I've never been able to do that before in my life, but as I get older, I've started to realize that I can't let the past set a precedent for what I can do now, because everything is so weird, you know?
I think it was cool. Kind of creepy. I don't really like spiders, but I think you get used to you sometimes being a spider. Sometimes, not always. Spiders creep me out.
Right.
There's a small flurry of footsteps comes charging up towards you, and there's a slam on both of your arms as Calantha like claps both of you on the upper arm. She's like, "That was cool."
Oh, hi. No, I think what Luce did was really cool. That spider thing. Such a clever.
I liked it when your arm was shrunk.
That wasn't. I couldn't control that.
Are you,
Yeah.
Luce? Are you one of those? Oh, what is, I know it starts with a D. What is it? Are you a doodad?
Am I a doodad? Nah. What a ridiculous.
Oh, sorry, Luce, I
I'm
broke
Radio
Scuff.
Rebel. Sorry, that was a bit.
I've heard about doodads up in the forest.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They could change into animals, like you did. I saw.
Shapeshifters?
Can you teach me?
I have no idea what you're talking about or what. I have no idea. I don't think I can teach anyone. No one else in my family can do this. It's just me.
Wow. So what should we do now?
Go and steal some shoes? No. We should go and find Reese.
Oh, Reese. Yes, of course, Reese and that poor man. I wonder where they are. If there's only something that could jog my memory.
I
That's gonna
take her head and I shake it.
Ow! No, not that. That doesn't help.
Brain games? Increasing your steps?
I'm a guide for hire. If you wish me to guide you.
Scott's gonna find a 1 gold because he doesn't have silver or copper. He's just like
Just pays everything. Like that tourist that just pays for everything with a bill.
yeah, it's like you walk into a shop and just like, yeah, this is the smallest I got. You pull for like $100 bill.
quick side story. We did a train trip around Europe before the euro was brought in, so every country still had different currency, and my friend Lucy paid for everything with bills and just got these tiny coins from all these different countries. And like towards the end of the trip, we were in the subway in Budapest, and the weight of these coins had busted her money belt, so she couldn't wear it underneath her clothes anymore. So she just had it in the front. And on the as we pulled into a station in Budapest, a opportunistic pickpocket plunged his hand into her money belt and stole a big handful of coins, and then leapt out of the door as it opened and disappeared into the station. And she was quite traumatized, bless her. And it wasn't a nice experience. But we did make her feel much better when we all sat down that night with beers and thought about this pickpocket fleeing through the station, finding somewhere quiet. He's like, right, what did I get? And he's got like small change from 6 different countries.
Some change from everywhere.
It was so good.
Like, okay, yeah, so
Sorry.
So 1/6 of this is usable in my country. Cool.
Yeah, right. So you give her a gold. She's like, oh, yes, silly me. This way.
Lead the way.
She's fucking loaded. Like, it's more than her parents get in like 6 months.
Yeah, this is like someone's life savings, I swear.
I mean, after helping us like save this guy, Reese thought she
Yeah.
definitely earned the gold.
I feel it.
And you are led through the streets again down to this adorable little boatyard, number 22. And as you creep in through the gateway into the deserted interior, you find Reese and this gentleman taking care to stay out of sight. As the sounds of the streets disappear behind you, and the 5 of you are gathered up, hunched over in the center of this warehouse, sitting on cut timber and stuff that's being prepared for whatever project is in the works. And
The
Calantha-
man, he's there, right?
yes, and Calantha's kind of sat cross-legged up on top of all the timber, and she just like looks down at you. She's got this big beaming smile on her face. She's like, "You did so well, so well."
Yeah, we saved someone today. How are you feeling?
Great, I'm really happy. I got paid, and oh, Tim, sorry.
You too. You did well.
You just forgot the disguise. It seemed like a perfectly simple part of the plan.
I mean, yes, that's fair. I don't really do these kinds of plans.
And the gentleman like puts back the hood from the cloak that was stolen from the shop there, and like winces at you still through, you know, it's still swollen and painful looking eyes, and he manages a half-hearted smile. He's like, Justice is the name.
Justice.
Justice Thessalon. I work here in town for a group of casters.
Must be risky.
Yes, it is, but it's necessary work. And one that we were pretty good at, which is why I got lazy and tried to cheat on betting on the archery contest.
Mm-hmm. That's... well... cheating's never a good idea.
I just saw it as using my skills to succeed. Isn't that what everyone does? In a certain way of looking at it?
Oh, winning a bet
Yes.
is actually kind of bad because some people, like poor people, might put their money in and they might be bound to lose because of the way you tip the odds in your own favor. But I'm not gonna go too deep on that one because we just saved you from being burnt alive and that sucks. And you might be going through a lot right now.
Yeah,
But
it's
risking...
too close.
you have to understand that we're risking your life on that. On a bet. For change.
The Gendrix have been less alert, less attentive. I guess it must be because of the festival that they're on high alert or something. I don't know. Unless... oh gods. I hope none of my colleagues have gotten into any bother in other cities.
Are your
If
colleagues
I'm
not
already
all here
here.
in Mirth?
I'm sorry?
Your colleagues aren't all here in Mirth. They're all over the place.
We're spread throughout Chessenta, yes.
Hmm.
If any of them got into any trouble in the other cities, that would explain why the Gendrix are on high alert everywhere.
Yeah, they might have been informed that there's a group of you.
Have you heard of any other spellcasters getting in trouble? Being accosted in bars and chased through the city streets?
Or maybe.
Hi, I'd like to introduce myself.
We might have heard of something like that.
Chessenta. We're a political movement, apparently. Also, the Thieves Guild told us.
Who are you?
Confusing.
Just some guys. Confusing is a good one.
Consider me confused. What have you heard? He looks shrewdly. He's like, he wasn't so blatant about it as like exactly describing what happened in the other city, but he's clearly noted a reaction. Do you have any news? Anything of my brothers and sisters?
No, none that we've seen so far. Though there was one, but she disappeared early. Don't know where she left.
Do you know someone called Perlin?
Carolyn, what?
Was it Stormgrove? Or something like that?
Sturgrove.
Sturgrove.
His eyes narrow. Sturgrove.
Yeah, she's like one of our besties. She's not been around for a while, which super sucks. But she's part of the People's Pod of Chessenta. She was a founding member, and we really miss her. I don't know what happened.
She. It must be someone else. There was there was a man by that name in our organization.
Oh, did he suck? It sounds like he sucks.
No. He's wondrous, guiding light to as many of us. Any
But-
relation?
I don't know.
What happened? Did something happen to put the Gendrix on alert?
Well, we might have gotten chased through a town due to some unfortunate circumstances with a vampire and a demon thing.
Devil, yeah.
I'm sure Arias will know if it's a demon devil, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's super knowledgeable about that kind of stuff.
But this is nothing to do with spellcasters, arcanists.
Well, it
Right.
has when you appear in the middle of a tavern due to some strange portal doodads.
I just bailed them out of trouble.
Yeah.
Where did this happen?
A pesco.
Painfully pushes himself up off the floor and like grabs your forearms, Reese. A pesco. Do you have a name? Who was with this Sturgrove? This Carolyn?
Like I said, I just bailed them out. So
Hang on. The ghouls. It was after the ghouls or before the ghouls? Therese?
Before.
Are we meeting Therese?
Teresa's who you're meeting here, yeah.
Is that the per?
oh, I know the name. Me as a player, I know the name.
There you
Reese
go.
has no idea.
Hey Kyle, how you doing, buddy?
I was there. You could remind me.
I Roll20 reminded you.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Ah. Aglano.
Aglionike.
That's it! Aglioniki! That's the
Aglioniki.
first thing at the top of my notes, too!
A real world,
Aglioniki, but I spelled it
Hey.
wrong.
a real world sorceress and astronomer. And yeah, you say that, Lucius. It comes flooding back in this wash of memory, and the guy. Sorry, what was his name? I forget what his name was.
Name was
Justinius. Justius. You're right, Justius.
Justin?
Yeah, Justin Bieberus. Sorry. Yeah, Justius. You saw them?
Yeah, why?
They were thought lost. Gone
They're
for
not.
so long.
They're back. Whee!
Yes, thanks to me and my friends, we did manage to save them from a fate worse than death. All,
Like we did for you.
all rewards forthcoming are most welcome. And you see Phenicus is lying in there's like a rowing boat hanging from the rafters, and he's just like lying in the boat
hi.
with like a leg dangling over the edge. You lot have been here half a day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
more
all
or
the
less.
gods, what are you doing?
Making friends.
I could rephrase that. What the hell is going on in here?
It's a very good
Saving
question.
people.
I'm just here to make friends.
We couldn't just stand by and watch what was happening.
Yeah.
He rolls off the edge of this suspended rowboat and somersaults in the air and does like a 3-point landing next to you all, and stands up, brushes himself off a bit of sawdust on his lapel. And
Okay.
you see Justius like recoiling. He's like, "Oh, you keep your blood. I'm not that type." So,
This is the vampire I was talking about.
at your service. And Calantha's like, "A vampire? Cool!"
Oh, at some point we're gonna have to return her to her family.
Ah, we can have her. Let's keep her. She's fine.
We just abducted
Wait.
her right now. She's just coming with us. We're gonna keep
Just a baby adventurer.
Yeah, we're gonna keep paying her gold, and she's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep guiding you guys. You're not even in the town, but I'm gonna keep guiding you. And in the end, she's like 2 years older, and she returns with like this mound of gold to her family.
Her family starts their own adventuring party to go and find her, and we're the villain.
We told her to go home, but she just kept following us. We just kept paying her, so...
It's like,
Something
you
I
know,
wanted to check, John.
it's when a cat
Can I
follows
just-
you, and you're just like, you know, you're guiding the cat along, and it just follows all the way to work.
Sorry, what was that, Lucy?
John, can I, because I was thinking about doing this earlier and then I missed my chance, can I just do an Arcana check on Calanthe? Because I want to see if she's got any magic going on.
And do you have to detect magic?
I don't want to burn a spell, is the thing.
It's the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I'll detect magic. Boom. I cast my spells.
Detect magic. Messaging Emma.
Secret.
Sorry, bro.
So when Luce detects magic,
Riveting stuff.
when Luce detects magic, I think it looks, his like ears perk up a little bit, and they sort of like, kind of like a caracal cat's. They just kind of like spin around a little,
Nice.
like some independently of the other, as if they're like trying to hear the magic.
Excellent. Hey, Dungeon Mike, thanks for the hydrate, my friend. I can't remember if I said thank you for the Twitter follow. Everyone, that's something I forgot to do in the intro. While all of you lovely people are hanging out here, if you want to find our VODs and what's going on news-wise, here is our YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram there. Okay. There is... Okay. There you go. So, yeah, this is just happening as you're all hanging out here, and you spend. I mean, do you have any other direct questions for Justice?
I 100% do. 100% I do. I look at him and I ask him, so, I sit down in front and like tuck up my legs. If you're a sorcerer or a caster
Yes.
or whatever, how come you can get yourself out of that situation?
I don't have my focus.
What you need is focus.
Yes.
What do you need?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a wand. They broke
A
it.
wand. You broke your wand. You kind of got yourself into that. That's a shame. No, I'm joking. If you had a wand, you could cast your magic. But if you don't have a wand, you can't cast your magic.
If there was something suitable that I could use, yes.
How do you determine what's suitable? Can we find you one? It's
In,
TBH.
in this country, no. I need to reconnect with my people.
Not like a black market where they have lots of wands for sale.
No. They're at the headquarters of my organization.
Where are those? Whisper them into my ear if you want to keep it secret.
No.
Oh. Boring. Okay, well, what you can do is, if it's suitable, we can try and help you get there, maybe. and then you can get a new wand, and then you can help us.
I thank you for everything you've done, but I need to contact my people and stay out of sight until I can be someone else.
Oh, boring.
Calantha's like, what do you mean, be someone else? And he's like,
What do you mean?
just change things up a bit. I don't want to be thrown straight back into the fire, as it were. You know what they say, out of the shipyard into the fire. Ooh.
Reese just kind of stares at him and then kind of makes his face like shift slightly, like just features change until they actually are a mirror of Justius's.
He kind of startles. He's like, that's impressive.
Become somebody else like that.
And Calantha's like, can you teach me?
Nah, that can't be taught.
And Justius nods knowingly. No, it cannot indeed. You must be a most useful person.
Typically, yeah.
I can see why you
Strangely so.
journey together. You complement each other well.
We had no choice, really, in the matter. We just kind of ended up together, but it was fun. Woo!
Yeah, who had thought that I'd be traveling with a thief? There we are.
Who would have I ever thought that I'd be traveling with a guard?
Calantha,
Yeah.
Calantha says, I earned this fair and square. I didn't steal it from anybody.
Oh, I don't think that they were calling you a thief.
You're fine.
But you
though.
can definitely get better at it.
Go on. And she's like, I stole that cloak.
Yep. And you got us all the way out here without us getting caught.
Just a little curtsy. With her oversized shorts. Where's she gone? Come
I
back,
would
Calantha.
like to
We have
pick
new
up
people
the
now.
hunt.
We're gonna have to get you some clothes that fit, don't we?
What do you mean? I like the flexibility and the maneuverability of these.
And you can always pin them up and unpin them depending on what your needs are.
But then I can't stash all my stuff. She kind of jangles a little bit.
I would
She
like to
moves.
pick her up and shake her to see if anything falls out.
Oi! What's it?
John,
Um,
I'm going to ask you a question.
please. And roll me a D100 as well while you're at it, please.
Oh my god. 96.
As you shake her, a bundle of cloth falls out and just flops onto the floor, and as it does, it kind of unrolls a little bit, and you see that it's a black pirate flag adorned with a dragon's skull and crossbones.
Sick.
She's like, that's my family crest.
I like it.
Sure.
I was delivering it for their fishing boat.
You've met someone called Theo Brothwin.
Yeah, nothing untoward, Luce.
Okay.
In answer to the question. Feels legit. Good idea, though. Hey, Nix Draconis, sorry. Good day to you too. Phoenicus, what does your family fish for? I'm not telling Mac. We may have to sleep with the fishes. And as you're doing this, she quickly like scoops that back up and like tucks it back away somewhere. So that was from the trinket table in the DMG. And she turns to you, she's like, so, I've got a home to go to. What are you all doing?
We're out here.
Yeah,
Why
we
don't
can
you
sleep here
sleep
till
over
morning.
You can't. They'll be back before first light. You will never get a proper rest.
Okay, then I guess I'll go to that inn.
There's that inn that makes fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go there. I like
Over
fish.
there.
We can score Arya some sashimi.
So you've been here all day and you haven't secured a place to stay? Says Fenicus.
Nah, no. Wasn't a thought.
I'm doing other things.
I have a modest townhouse here.
Mind if we stay with you?
Depends. Do I have to invite you to walk across the threshold?
No,
Sounds
we have to
polite.
invite you so you can enter your own house.
I don't think it works that way,
Oh,
but you're welcome to try.
I'll try anyways.
If it's
Just
my
in
house and
case.
you invite me, do I get barred instead?
Do I need to invite you to go out of your house?
What
So-
if we put a sign
Needs
on the door
invitation to
that
leave.
says Luce's house, no Finicus is allowed? Does that change the deed of ownership to me?
In a legal manner, I'd say no.
What in a vampiric manner?
I'm not sure. There's a
I'll figure it
rather
out.
stuffy bunch of folks in some place called Italy. I'll have to go and ask them what's going on.
The Volpuri.
I'll have to ask Martin Shaw.
Is it going to be Antonio Banderas in a wig?
There's this little strip club on the Mexican-American border. I can find out what's going on there. Okay, so yes, Finicus offers you a place to stay.
Okay.
Reese changes his face back to the nondescript elf from before.
Oh, it's you. Until you shifted, didn't it's like didn't spot that.
Yeah, because he had shifted to match the
Yeah.
Justice
Yeah.
and then back.
Okay.
Fun.
And
I would like to be hanging out as a little cat.
as what's right?
A cat.
You wild shaped?
Oh, yeah, actually, I want to be a hedgehog.
Okay.
So, Shige's gonna,
F's in chat for Tarina.
sorry, Scuff's gonna turn his robe a little bit. Just hang
Wow.
over the side. He's disguised now.
That's such a good disguise. I squeak.
And Fenicus looks to Justice. He's like, you can come too. You need somewhere to stay, somewhere to lay low, right? And I'll warrant you'll have some fairly tortured dreams tonight. Delicious.
Yeah, those would probably be very spicy for you.
That's a spicy nightmare. And
We did not secure a athletics thing, though. If that's
say again, sorry, Scott.
we didn't manage to get a patronage or a athletics
You did not.
mark.
Maybe
And it
a
has to be signed up the day before, right?
yes, but the festival. So yeah, you did miss tomorrow's chance, but you do have a couple of days before you're supposed to meet Charlotte.
Oh,
So
okay.
be read.
Charlotte.
Oh
Charlotte.
no, not Charlotte. Sorry, Therese. No, you're not
Not
meeting
ready for the
Charlotte.
boss battle yet.
Spoilers!
My bad. Sorry. It's because I was skipping through the PDF to try and find something. There was a picture of her. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh right. So, where are you? So yeah, you are led through the streets sneakily to the modest townhouse of one Finicus. And it is a modest abode, in just a couple of columns on the front, and everything in dust sheets inside.
Very nice.
I'll start making my sign once I pop out of my hedgehog form, just in case I can stick it on the door.
That's it.
So Scuff's gonna walk over to the door and say, "I invite you in,"
Ah,
just in case. You know?
Finicus just shakes his head and walks past. And are you looking to head out and get yourself some stolen licenses this evening, or taking a rest? Just resting.
I think that can be tomorrow.
Yeah, just resting, I think.
Right, yeah, you have to wait till the next day anyway. Okay, so yes, you all rest in Finicus's townhouse, and you may all take the benefits of a long rest.
Damage removed.
Now, where... Sorry, I'm trying to find something that I need before Luce does the thing. Okay.
I've written new goal unlocked. I would like to make this house mine.
Uh-huh.
If I can't own property in real life, I'm going to own it in D&D.
Virtual property. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the real estate is.
Become a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Virtually.
We're so smart.
It's like starting up D&D, so you can sit on the auction and just, buy and sell things forever.
Okay.
D&D down payments and decorating? No, that's boring.
Look, the best one is playing D&D so you can play corridors and cubicles.
Yes. Very good, very good.
Big.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And she is there. Okay, so yes, Luce, are you off for a bit of a wander?
Not intentionally. I think Luce goes to sleep, and you can tell he's got very fretful sleep. But he will rest. I think the way it happens is he just opens his eyes after a start and is lying on his back in the forest where he found the temple.
Okay.
Definitely didn't plan on this at all. It was just...
Okay, yeah, so you find yourself, your eyes kind of flutter open, and you realize the rustling of the trees and the leaves and branches up above you. And as you roll over and feel the grass on your face, you see the carved stone of the altar to Isis. And there are blooming night flowers. There's a very heavy scent of jasmine on the air, and there is a lot of natural energy here. And at the edge of the glade, there is a small pool. Naturally formed, it seems. Doesn't have sculpted edges to it. And the dark waters are mirroring the night sky above. You can just see the undulating reflection of the moon on the surface of the water, as the moon is directly above the opening in the trees here.
I feel like you might have come to like leaning almost over it, and then realizing would have jumped back and scrambled to the edge of the clearing.
Okay.
He's not having a good time.
And yeah, Isis was also the goddess of the moon, so it works well.
I think Ruth will look around
Mm-hmm.
and in Sylvan,
Mm-hmm.
he will just call out and say, "Hello."
There is a flurry of wind through the trees, and they all hiss and rustle as if in reply. And as the wind skitters across the surface of the pond, it refracts and disturbs the image of the moon, which is spread out across in shining ripples, and the surface of the water breaks. And the tied up dark hair, pointed ears, and this time bare shoulders of a figure you've seen before. A female gnome breaks the surface of the water. Ah, if you remember.
Yeah.
And she breaks the water and just like lifts her arms out and props them on the side of the pool and shakes the hair, some water out of her hair, which is like tied up in a knot on top, like in the picture there. And then there's another swoop, a foot or so away from her, and the little albino head of her little friend there also breaks the surface and then just starts doggy paddling across the water. And she looks over. Ah, hello again.
Luce breathes a sigh of relief and is like, "You're the one who brought me here, not..." "Okay, cool. Hi, how are you doing?"
It doesn't work like that. You brought me.
"Oh,
Good evening. Enjoying the festivities?
yeah, no, it's pretty good. I'm sorry, this is a bit weird. I thought you were going to be... I thought you were going to be someone else. But you're you, and I'm very happy to see you. Do you want me to show you around the town?"
A bit naked.
"Oh,
It's nice.
I don't care. I don't really. Anyway, do-do-do.
Fancy a dip?
Absolutely not."
Suit yourself.
I'll sit at the edge of the pool, and that's as close as I'll get, like 2 feet away.
Okay.
So this goes to where exactly?
The pool.
This.
Well, in a very specific set of circumstances, to my home.
Definitely not going to get in there, I think.
Oh.
Your home
Yes.
is... That's not to cause any offense. It's just that I'm quite happy where I am for now.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Seen any all kind of insecty looking people lurking about at all.
Any what, sorry?
Like loose kind of gestures with his hand, like about a foot taller than me, like this thin, super skinny. I'm exaggerating. Spooky.
Did you go Arius?
Like no, that's not Arius.
Not that thin, I don't think.
No one like that.
Sorry, who are you referring to? Sorry, I'm being dumb.
No one that anyone in the game would know except us two.
Okay.
So, like, then Luce will just ignore it and just say, "Okay, never mind, don't worry." Well, you're better than the alternative. Would you like me to find you some clothing and show you around the town? I yawn.
No, just wanted to check in, see that everything was going well.
It's all good. Thank you. Forest is a funny place. Luce will make a little flower, similar to the ones on Isis's temple, and then very gingerly hand it over to her and then stand up. If you can't tell by the fact that I'm not fully awake, I am supposed to be in bed. But it was good to see you again, friend, and I will hope to make your acquaintance another day.
Just remember, right place, right time. But your decision. Always.
Leave very quickly.
And you just hear a splash as you turn your back and kind of glancing over your shoulder. There's the water's rippling, but the two of them have disappeared. Back to grandfather's. Back to that twin world.
Luce will go back to sleep, I think.
Okay.
And head back to the townhouse.
Gotcha. So, as the rest of you wake, unaware of Luce's nighttime wanderings, although I think Fennicus saw you come back, Luce, and raised an eyebrow.
Hi.
Everything okay?
Fine. Night.
Make yourself comfortable. And you get yourselves a long rest after an eventful day. And wake up, and everyone may take the benefits of a long rest.
Whee.
So, the morning is yours. What would you like to do?
No, talking about themselves.
Just gonna go get some food.
No.
Does it seem like the kitchen here is stocked at all?
Not the very good.
Not in the slightest.
Just gotta be very annoyed that there's no food. Oh, that's hospitable. see if we can get them some. Is everyone else up, or?
Luce is sleeping in, which is unusual for him.
Yes.
Reese is up early as
It's
usual.
it's me. Okay.
It's just gonna go to Reese and say, "I'll go find us something to eat and I'll be back."
You want help?
Sure. But no stealing it. We're buying it honestly.
I wasn't gonna. I feel like, and this is why every session I introduce Reese, the criminal. But I also really enjoy like the like buddy cop dynamic that they have. I'm like, no stealing. Okay.
I wasn't going to. You keep saying that.
If I was going to steal something, you wouldn't notice.
Exactly. He preempts his denial of stealing, just in case.
If anything, I will just help you get a very good deal on some fish or whatever we eat.
I heard a fish.
Or whatever we eat. It's like little blips in the D&D lore. It's like, we eat stuff thing, sure.
Stuff things.
Yeah, food.
I'm sure that fish is not the only thing in this town.
No.
We just got our pockets overloaded with fish.
And there are nice loaves and stuff. You know, the fields around the town do produce barely enough wheat and things, but not enough to do the usual sponsored feasts that they have for these events.
Does it seem like it?
Have a walk around, look for markets that will be selling food. Bakers, fishers, butchers,
Okay.
whatnots.
Yep. Away from the docks, and further into the town centre, you do find vendors of all the usual foodstuffs and everything. Take your pick. It's not a city, but it's a decent sized town, so there's a fair amount of stuff.
This can actually ask Reese what Reese fancies. Skeff can eat anything, but you know.
I will tag along behind them and I will try and get some samplers for everybody. So if they don't know what they want, they soon will.
You were still asleep.
Oh.
all the sleepwalking. Hi guys.
Reese suggests something. Reese suggests something that we can like put together back at the house, so that we can like wake up like Luce and Arius with like breakfast.
Yeah, I was thinking too. Like breads, maybe some butters, meats, could work.
Maybe some fruit.
Maybe some fruits. Yeah. let's go with
Whatever's
that.
fresh and available.
Yeah. Seems like a good plan. We're gonna be looking around for that.
Sorry, I was distracted by the toasted marshmallow.
Toasted marshmallow.
So, after finding various treats and neck warmers, you are suitably fueled and ready to face the day. Scuff, gonna go back to the fort and say hello. Sponsor
I
me!
think not. Not after yesterday, no.
Maybe
But
stick
he
with
does
the...
have his cloak slightly on the side, so you know they might not recognize.
Oh
him.
yeah, no one's gonna notice who he is.
Yeah. That's disguise.
Yeah, we can just shift his hair over, part it on the other side.
Hey, a part of the other side is fine. You know? Just mop it somewhere else.
I
It's
think
like
also-
It's like the Clark Kent version of the disguise. It's like I
Oh
changed
my god,
glasses.
Clark Kent's glasses of disguise would be such a good D&D item.
Yep.
Well, you just put them on and nothing changes about your appearance, but nobody recognizes you.
Yeah, you get +6 to disguise by just
That's so
putting on
good.
glasses.
Yeah. I think whenever Luce wakes up, he would thank you guys for the breakfast foods, and then he would suggest potentially going and watching some of the games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fun.
Yeah, and
Reese
I
would
do
also
have
like to
to-
check on Justius to see how he's doing this morning.
Okay. Clock without a trace?
What?
Clock without a trace?
Oh, ground face.
Pretty close.
That's really good.
Okay. You you spy, and he is in a fairly large bed in Venicus's place, with a bunch of dust covers and things like just thrown on the floor at the side, and is completely passed out and just recovering from the ordeal.
Reese will leave some food and then rejoin the others.
And you make your way now. As you step out into the streets again, and the sounds of the town wash around you, you hear a cheery little cry. Oh, morning! Calantha's there.
Oh, hello.
Morning.
Hey!
We really did adopt a child, didn't we?
We really did.
So, my esteemed guests to Meth, what does the day have in store? What would you like to enjoy this festival of the greats?
We're gonna watch some games.
Ah, splendid. Now, which ones?
Well, surely you know all the best ones.
Well, I mean, there's back up at the Megalothario, where we were yesterday. They have the contests of strength and the archery. If you want to check out the competition. Or the other venue for the festival events is over at the amphitheater.
Do they serve
What about
snacks
the
there?
amphitheater? Sorry, Scott. What did you say?
Do they serve snacks at the amphitheater?
Oh, yes, there are vendors and hawkers everywhere. Yeah.
Sound like a good time then.
I would like snacks.
That's the Hey, Nico, thank you. That's the at the amphitheater. They have the combats, the trials by combat. There's the one that's fighting across the tops of the columns, and then there's the one where you're chained together and you have to try and bash the heads off the columns and knock them unconscious.
Sounds brutal.
Well, I
I like
enjoy
it.
it.
It's great.
What would teach this child to become? A barbarian? A druid barbarian?
So, what's it to be? What do you fancy seeing?
I'll turn to the others and say, I don't know how I feel about going and seeing supreme violence. Maybe just a little bit of violence.
Then we should go and see the one that's on top of the columns. There's no heads being bounced off anything in that.
Okay?
And when they fall, there's soft stuff on the floor. It helps.
Samantha, by soft stuff, do you mean just like sand?
And straw, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
Sick!
not that
Let's go!
bad. Let's do it. It's
Yeah.
very fun.
So yeah, you're gonna go through to the amphitheater.
Yeah, Luce is
Yeah.
proceeding with conflicted enthusiasm.
Okay, so yeah, you head over in that direction, over towards number 3 there, and you do hear crowds of people cheering and enjoying something that's already in progress, it seems. Where are they? Here they are. And as you're approaching, you do see a circle of 8 fluted columns, like on our map here, with narrow, flat tops, and there are 2 people on top of these 20-foot high columns, jumping and leaping between them, and both of them carry quarterstaffs, and they are jabbing out at each other and trying to catch each other off balance and knock each other off the columns. And there's a very nifty little jump over to the side as everyone cheers. Oh, they managed to avoid getting knocked off. And then there is a as the quarterstaff cracks them on the side of the head, and one of the competitors stumbles. Their foot slips off the side of the column, and they fall down into the soft sand and straw.
Uh-huh.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. And do you see them? Okay, they get helped up off the ground by some officials, and the other person stood up on top of the columns, just like lifting up like a Tatooine sand. Like,
Just can't share.
This is the other flashback they didn't show you in Boba Fett.
I would like to look for snacks.
Okay.
Specifically because Scuff wanted some. And I'm a good friend.
Cheers, Baron. And you, I think. Yeah, let's treat you. Let's treat ya. City of Cats, another heavily Egyptian-themed place that we like to spend and take some travels to from time to time. Herbastet, where Tyranny came from, which is why there was the connection between these 2 places. That was in the... see if I can remember this correctly. Wolf District. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah! Okay, so, anyone who's looking for street food, please roll me a d10.
City of Cats.
Yay! She's just like...
Heart is beating like a pigeon.
I did not agree to this.
He's not happy. D10. 5.
A 5.
And a 10.
A 10. How'd you go, Scuff?
Let's go. I'm looking for a street food.
Okay. Luce, you find yourself a little vendor selling cos.
Cos. Oh, I love
Cos.
cos. What cos?
You're like, yay, cos! Hey, Zana, good to see you. Cos is a very stodgy olive bread.
Nice. I love it. Okay. I will get some for me and for Scuff. I'll get like the little bags that like cut up and it's like all got like some olive oil on it and some I don't know, truffles or something, I don't know. And then I'll pass one to each of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Reese, you find a different person selling a nice steaming cart with a delightful smell coming off it. But it does have a slightly fishy smell to it. It's just like, oh, okay, there's fish. Okay. As you find a Yamo merchant, vendor, I should say. And Yamo is fried sardines served with spicy olives and dates.
Wow. That's
Yes.
If any of these
might
people
say-
have salt and pepper shakers, I'm going to take them, by the way, and I'm going to swap the pepper lids and the salt lids.
Noted. You think some of these fried sardines would go very nicely between 2 pieces of cos.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Team
Reese
up, team up.
gets enough for everybody.
Okay. And as you're doing this, another round kicks off as 2 combatants clamber up onto the top of the columns and start to leap and circle each other warily as they try to catch up close to the other and knock them off with the quarterstaff. Sorry, very old Star Trek reference. Okay. Hey, fancy. Wow, that is a very specific emote. A fish and bread. We have a cousin Yamo sandwich emote. Okay. Oh, it's from Lord Gazundus. Nice. Right. Okay. So, as you observe this trial by combat, Scuff, you might try this one. You're the fighter. How are you with heights?
Yeah, Scuff would like to try this.
Reese will pat him on the shoulder and give him inspiration.
He hasn't signed up though. Is he allowed to?
You can if you wish.
Yeah, Scuff would let him try this.
This one
seems
does
fun.
not. This one does not need a license because you do not need to carry a weapon through the streets.
Ah, makes sense. Yeah, this seems like fun.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Sort it. One of the competitors has had to duck out as they had very, very troubling dreams the night before, and they couldn't sleep at all, and they feel very bad today. And you just like see Fennicus like across the way, just like nods. Just like, there you go. Created an opening. And the organizers like, sorry, this is very unorthodox, but if you keep it on the hush, if you want, you can jump right in now.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. That sounds fun.
Thank the gods. Here you are, and just like thrusts a quarterstaff into
what?
it. And it just points at the ladder.
What are the rules?
Stay up longer than the other one.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
they give you the quick rundown here. And you watched the fight before as well. You saw these two opponents armed with these staffs climb onto the columns and face each other in a fight that ends when the first one falls to the ground. There are mounds of hay and straw placed around the columns to prevent the fall from killing or hurting the participant too much. The rules are quite simple. Trip your opponents from the columns without falling yourself.
Cool.
Yeah,
she gets Scuff should definitely under that.
Okay, so let me bring you over to the arena. Dun-dun.
The arena.
Zoom out of it here. Okay, now those squares are not 5-foot squares. They're teeny tiny. Can everyone see that? Okay, do you need your token on there to see?
Yeah.
Oh, I see that.
Okay, cool. So I won't put everybody on there. I'll just put Scuff. Right, damn it. Loose, I'm getting flashbacks to watching Firemore fighting Baron.
Oh yeah.
Blue. Crap, what was his name?
Baron.
Blue. Something.
No, I don't remember.
Damn it.
There were so many people. A lot of them had these in their name.
That Descent to Venice had so many. Actually, I told Stefan Colby earlier today. I should tell you too. There you are, Scuff. That's how big it is. It's only 5 feet between the columns.
Okay, so it's not that big.
So it's quite a cramped arena here. And I've put the scale of the map is proper. So if you use the measuring tool, that's correct.
Yep.
Luce, I was saying to Stefan Colby before. I caught Dreaded GM because he's running Descent into Avernus for his offline group, and so he was prepping Van Thamper Villa, in Baldur's Gate there, where Slobberchops and everyone is, and where there's the the devils and everything down in the cellar.
Stunning.
It was just like so nostalgic, remembering you guys go through there with Rhea Mantlemore and everyone.
Oh my gosh, the fact that Rhea exists in other campaigns makes me feel so weird. I feel like
Right.
no.
Right.
Where's the torrid romance?
Okay, now. What shall I attack you with? Let's go with this swarthy gentleman.
Oh, the definitely Sergeant from yesterday.
I don't think that'd be a fair fight.
That would not be a fair fight, no.
This gentleman will do.
Nice.
Okay, so let me grab what's their AC. Okay, so yes, basically, Llama, with this, any attack that misses by 2 or less, or hits, forces them to make a dexterity saving throw. And if they fail, then they have fallen. And because they try to avoid it. If you hit them and cause damage, you also force them to make a saving throw. You can also do the grapple action if you want. You can do that as a prepared action as well to try and grab their stuff as they try to attack you.
Yep.
And yeah, that's basically it. It's just a free for all. Okay.
And
So-
movements between the sticks requires a action or like a special roll or.
No, because it's only 5 feet, so you can do a standing jump.
Okay.
No problem.
Cool.
Okay, so as let's see here. Okay, so the adjudicators down below look up. It's like, contenders ready? No, sorry. It's like, are you ready? Are you prepared?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. Then begin and roll initiative there, Scuff.
Will do. I shall 3.
Actually, we don't need the same one. We can just remember it. There's only 2 people.
Yeah. 9.
9. Okay. Our friend here gets a 18.
He goes first.
He does. Okay, so he is going to skip 5, 10, 15 feet round to that one there. So he just like comes nimbly skipping ground, 1, 2, 3 across the columns there, spinning the stuff in his hands, and he lunges forward with it towards you. It's going to be a quarterstaff. Quarterstaff, is that strength or dex?
Strength.
Be strength on it, yeah. Okay. 14?
Does not hit. Well, it's 2 below.
No, your AC is 18.
It's 16 now because I'm not wielding a shield, I'm assuming.
Okay, yep, 2 below. So you need to. So yeah, it doesn't damage you, but it does clock you one on the side of the armor there, and unsteadies you a bit. So can you make a dexterity saving throw?
The shortest round ever. Let's go.
It could be
It's a 14.
safe.
Right.
If it doesn't damage you, it's only a DC 10. Okay, so
Also-
there's a resounding clang as the quarterstaff rings off Scuff's armor, but he manages to keep his balance, and it's your turn, sir.
Just a
Question.
reminder that
Attacks-
Scuff does have a D6 from Reese.
Nice.
So,
and
attacks
you
of
have a-
opportunity, do they exist? in this one?
No, not with the precarious balance, I would say.
Okay. So, Scuff's plan is to jump to this one up here and prepare a strike for when he jumps closer, when he lands, to like hit his legs as he's landing on the pillar.
Okay. So yeah, he's just like smirking, and I think he's been in this competition before, and he thinks you're just this complete noob, and he's like, "Coward, get back here!" And he jumps over to that one.
And as he does,
Yep.
Scuff's gonna just try to like sweep his leg as he lands.
Yeah, go for it. Roll an attack.
Should be a +5. I'm gonna use a D6 in this too.
Okay.
That would be a 12 then.
Total of 12. Beats it, my friend. Roll the damage.
Quarterstaffs are D6, right?
Just temporarily add one to your character sheet, and then you can click on everything.
D8 if I'm dual wielding, which I would be, assuming.
Yeah, right.
No reason why I wouldn't be. At least I'm trying to sweep someone's legs.
Let me just see if there's anything in the rules about the damage. It doesn't say. Yeah, no. What was the damage?
4.
4. Okay. So yeah, that does damage them as well. So yeah, you sweep across and smack into their legs as they land on that column there, and that damages them. And that makes it's a DC 12 thing, because it's half the damage plus 10. Oh no, only a 7. So as you very tactfully, your tactics coming into play here, Scuff, as you feint back and trick them into lunging forward. You give them a resounding crack on the shins as they leap towards you, and they go and they overbalance with the pain and go tumbling down and take okay, 2d6 for the 20-foot fall, and they take but -1 because of the hay, the cushioned landing, and they fall down and crash into the hay below, and they're not unconscious. They have one HP left.
Oh my god, you
Because of
could
that.
kill that dude!
And he's just like lying in the hay and he's like groaning. It sounds like a beginner's luck.
Scuff's gonna be like, oh, yeah! Just always,
Yeah.
of course.
And everyone down below is like cheering. Like, yeah. The Nimble escaped there, and you just like stand there. And there's like a drone shot, just like plans all the way 360 around you, just like with the quarter stuff in the air. And there was a clunk as a ladder, but this one is different. It's bedecked with ribbons, which is the winner's ladder.
Oh my gosh,
And-
it's a special ladder!
And you clamber down the winner's ladder to the people, and they grab your hand and raise your hand triumphantly up. And it was like, we have our winner for this, the third day's fourth battle. And everyone cheers again. And you are congratulated by everyone here. And where are we at? Okay, yeah, and the adjudicators slap a decent-sized leather pouch into your arms, and they're like,
More money!
"Congratulations!"
Thank you.
Now you can't play again until the day after tomorrow.
Makes sense.
And they cut me on the back, and the sounds starts to flood back in to the space here as the vendors start to shout out their wares again. They're like, olive bread, to hula by my fried sardines and spicy olives. And you return triumphant to your friends, and like various people clap you on the back, and like someone offers you like an amphora of wine.
I just don't accept that. Let's go also check what's in the bag.
And you can see that Calantha's like mimicking your gestures, like it's like watching.
Yeah,
Yes.
like this.
Yeah, sweep the leg.
Yes.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, down there. Yeah.
Sweep. Oh, sorry, Liz. Okay.
It's gonna cheer her on. She'll become a great warrior at some point.
Or rogue, or do that.
Fighter druid,
It's gonna be great.
barbarian of some sort.
Okay.
Primal rager.
And Scuff, as you return triumphant to your friends, a quick peek within the little pouch here reveals 50 gold pieces.
Woo! That's a lot of gold.
So much money.
Yes, they do not have lots of money,
We've
food,
felt
but
like
they
we've
do have
never
lots of
seen
money.
that much money before.
That's like more than we have as an entire group, I think. Okay, except for Reese.
Speak for yourself. All right, and you are, as I said, yes, triumphant and returns to your friends here. And I think, speaking of triumphant returns, let us await Arius's triumphant return before we continue with this day and call things there, as it is time, regardless, as well. So, let's finish up there. Thank you, my dear adventurers, and thank you to everyone who's joined us. Lots of people coming through today. Thank you, everyone who's been in the chat and with everyone timing in there. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this with you, as always. Nice bit of a roller coaster of a ride there, up and down. Lots of things going on, which is nice, very nice. Okay, last chance, everyone, for you to jump in the giveaway, !enter, for your chance to claim your prize, the fabulous CZRPG goodness that we'll be sending to your... by horse. In your general direction. Showing off the 3D effects of Sirenscape there. I went right through my head.
Horse is leaving.
All right, so yes, as we quickly wrap things up here for the rest of this week, please jump into that giveaway if you would like, and we will draw the winner after and see who is here to claim their prize. Now, we will be rejoining the fabulous Candlekeep Mysteries crew tomorrow, so come and join us for that, and then that will rock us into next week. A slightly shorter week than usual, as we will have Realm of the Frost Maiden, and we will have Out of the Abyss. But that is all, as we are about to enter into a week off. A whole week of no streams, as it is the Golden Week holiday here in Japan, and we will not be able to stream during that time. We will miss you all dearly, but we'll look forward to returning triumphantly with Wild Beyond the Witchlight on May 5th or 6th, depending where you are in the world. And we will be finishing things in style, as the last session before the break will be my birthday.
Yay!
Next Thursday, stay tuned. Thank you. Stay tuned for what is going to be coming up. A special stream, not your regularly scheduled Barovia and Beyond. We will be having a special birthday stream on Thursday evening or morning, depending where you are in the world, or lunchtime, I suppose. And you, I hope, are able to join us as we hang out and have a fun old time before saying goodbye for a whole week. Gonna get withdrawal symptoms. Right, so a massive thank you to my lovely players. Anything we need to shout out?
No.
All good?
But I will be opening my questions again soon.
Hey, okay, everyone, jump
An eye on my
that.
Twitter.
Okay, so yes, EmmacityArt over on Twitter to jump into those fabulous things. Actually, Emma, I wanted to ask you something. So let's just chat after stream. If you have followed us today, thank you very much, and it has been a pleasure to have you here. And you should keep an eye on your Twitch Whispers, as we will be sending a followers Discord invitation in your general direction. So please keep an eye out for that, and we hope you can come over and join us, share what you've got going on, and see everything that's going on with us as we release all of our reveals and news there, first and foremost. For example, the exciting charity stream coming up next month as we team up once more with the Games Tavern in the name of No Kid Hungry, and we have some fabulous guests joining us for some one-shot roulette and madness. The first session, which will be May, let me get the dates right here, May 13th or 14th, depending where you are in the world, in the evening or morning respectively. We will be joined by none other than James Hake, the project lead of the recent Critical Role book and the head game designer at Ghostfire Gaming, as well as Casey Young from the Arcane Library, a wonderful, wonderful writer that we are very big fans of over here, as well as our own Michael and Marin for that one. Unfortunately, the NFL fullback for the Cleveland Browns, Johnny Stanton, has had a game day change of schedule and is unable to join us, unfortunately. But we will be joined the week after, on May the 20th or 21st, depending where you are in the world, by none other than Quincy's Tavern, Dead Aussie Gamer, and a couple of felted friends by the name of Brian and Cucumber from Perception Studio, and their GM, Ryan, who will be joining us. And as Dag put it, why on earth, John, did you put me, Quincy, Cucumber, and Brian in the same stream to come and see the absolute insanity that will no doubt unfurl? Quincy and Dag were bad enough together, but added to that, two Muppets quite literally, and you will see. It will be, I'm afraid not Baron, no, that will be the Saturday morning, Friday evening time slots for those one-shot roulette games. But all of our regular campaign games are also going to be on that week as we try and raise as much as possible. Of course, there will be fantastic prizes and donation incentives for you to get your hands upon, and also wonderful, interesting ways of you to influence play and get some shenanigans going with your donations. So, come and have a good time in the name of a good cause, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Right, that is plenty of time. I am closing these entries for the giveaway. Let us see who our winner is, and if they are here to claim their prize. As we have made that a thing now, you do have to be here to claim your prize. So, closing up those entries. Okay, tonight's prize from CZRPG is going to... Hang on. Ah, silly iPad. Sorry, refresh. Drum roll, extended drum roll. Okay, do this here and this here. Okay, so yes, tonight's winner of the CZRPG goodness goes to... Ta-ding! Dungeon Mike! Are you still here? If you're here, thank you very much. You've been here from the very beginning. You're the first person in chat, I believe, almost. Are you still here? Are you still here? Give us a shout. Dungeon Mike, calling Dungeon Mike.
Dungeon Mike.
Give us a shout if you're still around. Otherwise, today is not your day. Claim the prize. Uh-oh. That's right, Robojax. Maybe preemptive congrats there, Phantom.
Oh no.
Congrats. It's a congrats. They were here right at the very beginning, so it would have been a rather epic session from them if they'd been here the whole time. Doesn't look like it. Oh, not today, I'm afraid. Do join us again for another chance to win if you see this on the VOD. Okay, so good news, everyone. Another chance for the rest of you. So,
oh, we're so well.
Say again.
Ground control to Dungeon Mike.
Ground control to Dungeon Mike.
Okay, sorry, Dungeon Mike, but we are going to be giving our prize today to, potentially, ta-dang, Robblejax. They're definitely here, because they just typed in chat.
Robblejax, are you here?
Yes, they are. They very much are. Oof, I was going to say, don't tell Charlie. It's good. You're wanting a bit more salt in the air, Arius. Need to get Charlie in here, but just tell Charlie that Robblejax won. Okay, Robblejax, yes, congratulations, my friend, and thank you for... Oh,
there's Dungeon Mike.
There's Dungeon Mike.
Oh no.
What do you think, Robblejax? What do you think, Robblejax? We should send them one to Dungeon Mike and that one to you as well from before. What do you think?
Hey.
You know there'll be more chances. Ah, Robblejax, a gent and a scholar. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Robblejax.
Dungeon Mike, it is your lucky day. Say thank you, Robblejax. Okay. Yes, we shall be in touch and get that sent in your direction. Congratulations indeed. There you go, Phantom. Congrats. And that is all done and done. A massive thank you, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. Congratulations to Dungeon Mike. And I hope you enjoy your prize and keep an eye on that. I will send that in your messages. Do you have a preference? We now have Twitch Whispers, Discord, and Twitter, I believe now. Take your pick. And we shall see you all again very soon. Thank you for joining us. Do join us next week and for Candlekeep Mysteries tomorrow if you are able. And I look forward to jumping back into the Festival of the Great here in Mirth in a few weeks. Right, okay, everyone, take it easy and stick around for the raid. Let's see, actually. Stick around for the raid. Where are we going? That's it. Are any of our stream team on? Yeah, Kyle's on. Okay, let's go and say hello to Kyle at Play Nerd Allies and get that no, it's Dungeon Mike. Get that raid going on. everyone stick around. Baz! Hello, Baz. Everyone stick around and we can enjoy what's going on over at Plano Dales. They are doing another of their fantastic, magnificent mythology streams. So let's go and see what they are cooking up. It's going to be awesome stuff. So thank you everyone once more. Stick around for the raid if you've got to let those phoenixes fly. But till next time, as we say around these parts, oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi
Oyasumi.
nasai.
Yes, me.
Bye.